Hi, YouTube family. Welcome back to Recording Movies Recap. Today I am going to explain a martial arts movie called Fearless. 10 years old Huo Yuanjia is the son of a martial arts master named Endi. Endi never allows Huo to take part in training, concerned about his asthma. The kid, however, has a passion for Kung Fu. He tries his best to sneak into his father's classes to learn the basics of it. Huo's only friend is a nerdy kid named Jinsun. He does all of Huo's calligraphy homework, allowing him to train instead. Endi is the second best in martial arts in their town, which is soon about to change because he has been challenged by the best, Zhao. Huo is excited about the fight and confident that the victory will fall to his father's lap. Endi has the upper hand in the match and is about to land a fatal blow on Zhao. But his beliefs and fair gameplay stop him from doing so. Taking advantage of his niceness, Zhao retaliates and wins the match dishonorably. Huo is heartbroken by the incident. Zhao's son challenges him to a fight when only the kids are together. Huo confidently takes up the challenge but is defeated in no time. At this moment, he vows to restore his family's name and be the best martial artist in Tianjin. He and Jinsun go to his father's library and steal his book about martial arts. Then, using the book, he trains day and night without rest. When Huo finally thinks he is ready, he challenges Zhao to a fight again. Zhao accepts the challenge confidently but is instantly proven weak against a trained Huo. Several years later, Huo has grown up to become even better in martial arts. His father passed away long ago, along with his wife, who left him with a little daughter. Huo spoils her since she is his joy and pride in life. After his last fight with Zhao, Huo has remained undefeated. He has fought several opponents, but none of them were good enough to give him a hard time. Huo has also gathered a lot of fans and followers over the years. But along the way, he has developed pride and is starting to forget his father's principles. He drinks and parties all the time and lets his disciples focus on having fun, more than practicing. Some days he drinks so much that he forgets to return home to his daughter. He has spent all of his family's money and has gone into debt but has no care in the world. One evening, he goes to his best friend Jinsun, who is now a wealthy businessman and the owner of a famous restaurant. As usual, Huo drinks till midnight and treats his followers to unlimited food. Jinsun's assistant reminds him that Huo has not paid his bills for over a year, which has been piling up. Later that night, Jinsun tries putting some sense into Huo. Jinsun knows that Huo's disciples only like him because he treats them to free food and drinks. He wants Huo to stay careful of his spending habits, but Huo thinks Jinsun is just being stingy. Qin. He is the only man who hasn't fought with Huo yet. Since he has also defeated every opponent, Qin is considered the best in martial arts by many. They get into a slight altercation which hurts Huo's pride. He takes his anger out on his disciples, beating them up while they train. At night, one of his followers has to be brought to him in a stretcher. It turns out that Qin beat him up for some reason. Huo assumes that he did it out of spite and is filled with anger. In Jinsun's restaurant, Qin and his family are celebrating his birthday. Suddenly, Huo barges in with his people and starts drinking at a nearby table. Qin asks him to keep their rivalry aside for the night because he doesn't want to fight. But Huo is in no mood to back down. Jinsun also tries to stop him but is, in turn, insulted. In a fit of rage, he breaks up their lifelong friendship. Now even angrier, Huo challenges Qin to a fight and asks him to kneel down if he doesn't want to accept. Everyone gets out of the restaurant for their safety, leaving the fighters alone. They get into an intense battle, both matching in skill and strength. But when anger takes over Huo, he doesn't play fair. He beats Qin up till he is exhausted and lands a life-threatening punch on his chest. It causes him to die instantly. Huo returns home in the morning to see his mother's dead body on her bed. Qin's followers had killed her to take revenge on him. He cries, mourning her death, before suddenly realizing his daughter is also in the house. Upon walking into her room, he is met with the biggest surprise of his life. She is lying on her bed, covered in blood. In her hand is a little pouch that she promised to give him when he returned home. Broken by the deaths he caused, Huo steps out of the house when his disciples inform him that the man who was beaten up by Qin had insulted his wife. Qin did not beat him out of spite but for his wife's honor. Filled with guilt, regret, and sorrow, Huo doesn't see a reason for him to keep living. He boards the first ship and lies down in a corner, willing to go wherever it takes him. After living in the streets for 6 months, Huo has enough of life. He tries to commit the unthinkable but is soon saved by a group of people by the river. They bring him to their tribe and take great care of him. But even after gaining consciousness, Huo goes into depression and doesn't talk to anyone. A blind woman named Moon takes care of him and is worried that he will never get up from the bed. Her experienced grandmother is confident that he will be fine with time. One day, Moon feels Huo's hair and offers to cut it. He walks for the first time in a month and goes to a river with her where she helps him cut his hair. Starting that day, he becomes a member of their community. He helps them cook, farm, and do household work. As a year passes, Moon and Huo start falling for each other. Then, Kung Fu. That way, even with the constant foreign pressure, they can preserve their heritage. Meanwhile, a group of officials from the foreign chamber is not fond of Huo's growing popularity among the Chinese public. They fear that his wins against the foreign fighters may trigger anti-foreign sentiments among the Chinese people. Hence, to make sure he loses in the ring the next time, they propose a match between Huo and 4 foreign champions consecutively in a single day. The Japanese representative, Mr. Mita, promises to end Huo once and for all this time. Even though the challenge is difficult and is obviously a tactic to make him lose, Huo agrees to take part. One day before the big fight, he meets his rival, the Japanese champion Tanaka. They talk over tea and befriend each other. Tanaka is a fair and respectable sportsman like Huo, but unlike the people who are sponsoring him. Cut to the day of the fight. Huo is made to go against 3 fighters from around the world, but none of them last in the ring for more than 2 minutes. Huo manages to defeat all 3 without breaking a sweat. Lastly, he goes against Tanaka, who apologizes for the unfair match and asks him if they should reschedule. Huo says it's fine and the first round starts. They fight using weapons of their choice. Huo uses a sanji gun and Tanaka uses a katana. Amidst the intense battle, they accidentally exchange weapons. Tanaka is not very good at handling a sanji gun, so to make it a fair fight, Huo offers to exchange weapons. The first round ends in a draw because of the hold-up. While resting before the next round, Huo drinks tea that is poisoned by Mr. Mita, who wants to see him lose one way or the other. The round starts, but Huo collapses and starts coughing blood almost immediately. Tanaka demands that the match be halted for the safety of the fighter. But when Huo registers he has been poisoned, he wishes to continue as he is going to die anyway. Even when exhausted and seconds away from death, Huo manages to deliver a final blow to Tanaka's chest, using the same technique that killed Qin. However, he holds the punch back this time, learning from his mistakes. But just then, he collapses. Tanaka declares Huo the winner, knowing that he held back on the punch deliberately. In the end, Huo falls into his friend's arms and dies. Tanaka angrily belittles Mr. Mita for resorting to killing a man for his pride. He calls him a disgrace to Japan before storming off. In the last scene, Huo's spirit reaches the field outside Moon's house. She runs to him, sensing his presence even though she is blind. Subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.